You will learn very quickly here never to generalize about religion. So here's some concrete advice. Never begin a paper or even a sentence with words like "in every religion" or "for every religious person." But I am going to go out on a limb and say that there is no religious person, no matter how literally they read their holy book, no matter how convinced of a particular set of propositions, who does not create their faith or their religious account of the world through some kind of assemblage, some kind of mosaic making with fragments and words and images, music and dreams, stories and histories, theological ideas and bodily experience. Religions are mosaics themselves, their emphases falling in different places as they move through history, encounter new cultures, intersect with particular lives. The making of a whole, a globed, compacted thing, through placing fragments in new combinations, was at the heart of Woolf's literary experimentation throughout her life. As a young woman of 26, before she had ever published a single novel, she stood before the frescoes of Perugino in Italy and pondered the difference between the serene, sealed-up beauty of his figures and what she was trying to do in prose. "I am after a different kind of beauty," she wrote in her diary, trying to achieve a symmetry by means of infinite discords, some kind of whole made from shivering fragments. 20 years later, Into the Lighthouse, her most autobiographical novel, Lily Briscoe describes the work of creation from disparate elements as her vocation, as the work of a lover. It was the work Woolf had done in the novel itself, creating a work of art from the fragments of her parents' lives. She was the lover whose gift it was to choose out the elements of things and place them together, and so, giving them a wholeness not theirs in life, make one of those globed, compacted things over which thought lingers and love plays. As always in Woolf's writing, her literary preoccupations have ethical implications. When she spins out that vision for a new college in 3 Guineas, she writes that its aim should be not to segregate and specialize, but to combine. It should explore the ways in which the mind and body can be made to cooperate, discover what new combinations make good wholes in human life. Now, in the late summer of 1940, as Great Britain grimly anticipated an invasion by Germany, Ben Nicholson, the son of Woolf's former lover, Vita Sackville-West, wrote to her and basically asked her, "Why didn't you and your brilliant circle of friends stop fascism?" It wasn't an entirely fair question. Woolf's husband, Leonard, had helped found the League of Nations. Her friend, Maynard Keynes, had sought social reform through economics. She herself had, as she put it in a letter to a niece, tried to catch Hitler in his home haunts and prod him, if even with only the end of an inky pen. She meant by this, I think, that she tried to fight the ways in which fascism manifested itself in her own society, especially through the oppression of women and the inaccessibility of education to any but the very privileged. And she tried to do this by organizing for women's suffrage and teaching night classes for working women and writing her great feminist works, A Room of One's Own and 3 Guineas. But it's a question that you can tell got under her skin. The only drafts that exist of any of her many 6 volumes of letters are drafts of the letters she wrote back to Ben Nicholson. Indeed, that question seems to have been under her skin before he even asked it. In her extended meditation on the origins of her vocation as a writer that she wrote around 1939 and 1940, she describes the conception that drives her to write as the sense that there's a pattern hidden behind the cotton wool of non-being, and that we are all a part of it. She expresses these convictions in the cadences of a creed. It is a constant idea of mine that the whole world is a work of art, that we are parts of the work of art. Hamlet or a Beethoven quartet is the truth about this vast mass that we call the world. But there is no Shakespeare, there is no Beethoven. Certainly and emphatically, there is no God. We are the words, we are the music, we are the thing itself. This conception of reality, she wrote, affects me every day. I prove this now by spending the morning writing, when I might be walking or running a shop or learning to do something useful if war comes. I feel that by writing, I am doing what is far more necessary than anything else.